officially started. So I am sitting here with Spill the Blood, Jake and Lewis.
Hey, what's going on?
You were spending your, Tuesday afternoon with me.
Tuesday lunch hour here at work.
Just passing around the pigskin.
Where are you guys right now?
What's up?
Where are you guys right now?
Riverhead, New York.
Riverhead, all right.
Where are you?
We're the crotch of the
Where am I? I'm in Mineola. I'm sitting in my fucking bedroom. That's where I'm sitting right now. Nowhere
out there.
Good for you.
Oh yeah. So, Spill the Blood. Explain to me what Spill the Blood is, because you can do it better than I can.
Absolute fucking garbage, first of all.
Yeah, dude. People call it the worst thing they ever heard, and then other people call it the best thing. So we just like to go with the worst. We're negative.
Spill the Blood is the rap music and project, and the first project of Eclectic, which is our label and our collective, essentially.
Yes.
Spill the Blood was just the first thing that when we broke out of doing shotgun styles like 2 years ago now, doing EDM, when the EDM empire fell. We moved into trap music because that was the new hot thing. I could rap, so I just started picking up on trap beats and stuff like that. And then it started taking like wildfire. People like Spill the Blood culturally. We just got a bunch of friends that became fans and vice versa. People just started fucking hanging out all the time at my house, wherever I was living, and when we just started throwing events and stuff like that.
So then we gave them a name, called them Bootlick, because we wanted to give that crowd a name. And then that took on its own life and got other people picking up the mic and changing their genres of music from pop, punk, and alternative, and dubstep and whatever else, and death metal even, to new types of experimental driven hip hop and alternative music. And then we started adopting that sound too, because then it became more collaborative as we started inviting more people in. So we took what Jake built and took what and it would start there, and then I got involved just kind of being there, and
Yep. So now we're on literally probably the third incarnation of what the lineup of Spill the Blood is. It's always been me and somebody else, and right now Louis is in that spotlight.
What's up, boy?
Cool. This is the third change you've had since Spill the Blood started?
You bet.
And it's been what? I feel like I've been seeing the name Spill the Blood for a while now. It's been 2 years since you've coined the name?
I'm going to say it's been like a year and a half, somewhere between a year and a half and 2 years. That's when I came up with it. And for the record, it's a Slayer reference. It is not affiliated with the gang.
Nothing like that. Nothing.
Everybody thinks so.
Yeah,
it's the last song on South of Heaven from Slayer.
How many times has someone had to ask you what it meant and thought it was about a gang? And
no comment.
Every time. Every time. Here, it's quick little tiny story. It's one time I was in, where is that one venue?
Kingsland.
That's not Kingsland. It's whatever, somewhere out in Flatbush or something like that. And I was DJing for Free Will. I was backing them up. And Free Will's the big Long Island group. And I'm their New York DJ as well. And that's how I got into trap, actually.
They're the boys. Yeah, shout out to Free Will.
Right. So we're out there, and I'm rocking my Spill the Blood hoodie and stuff. And then I realized the clientele of that demographic starts to show up. And one of these people happens to be friends with 6ix9ine. It was the guy Seco Billy. That is the song Billy is named after.
Yeah.
And he comes up and he's just eyeball, and I'm just oh, I just put together what's going on here. But apparently he just gave me a hug and said thanks for DJing, and I was like, okay,
cool.
Yeah,
you can explain the reason behind the name?
No. But he was he asked for a second. He's like, what's going on with this? I'm just it's my brand.
All right.
Hold on one second. What's up?
What, pass me that phone and the thing?
Yes, right there. Louis, can you hand that to him?
Sure, of course.
Anyway, so it's
what happens when you do an interview at work.
What's up?
I said, this is what happens when you do an interview while you're at work.
I know.
We're multitaskers, so there's no better way to get a window into what we do without seeing the multitasking side.
Yo, I agree. And the music industry is that one industry that just never, they say it never sleeps, right? So I think of it more I'm up at 3 a.m. doing shit, but really even 1:30 during your daytime, you still got to do crap, right? It never ends.
We do stuff all day.
Every day.
So you said that everyone came from different backgrounds within Spill the Blood and Bootlick and everything else. So did either of you come from a hip-hop background, besides being influenced by hip-hop, which is one thing, but did either of you do any hip-hop projects prior to?
Or there's Timbo, you've been going out for a long time.
Right, so I've worked with Timbo doing that kind of music. That's actually I think, did we meet at that one show?
The one at Nutty in Farmingdale.
Yes.
I think that's where we met, yeah.
Right. So that was like my first chance getting to do any kind of hip hop, and that was just one of the projects I was doing at the time. And I always just had an interest in it, really, because like I used to play, even when I was at my youngest music stages, I played reggae hip hop all the time.
Yeah.
We both know the Dirty Heads are collectively like one of our favorite bands. You know.
I have a Dirty Heads tattoo, of course.
I know. I so know it. But yeah, that was my real like background for hip hop. I did a little bit of pop hip hop. I like always could rap. And then when it really turned up as the new popular genre, I'm just like, all right, time to take this skill set and put it to work specifically.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
And yeah, that was the closest thing we had to a background. I mean, otherwise, like people are coming from all over the place to be in this genre.
Like, I was post-hardcore and emo rock and prog metal.
Luke is my good example. Luke from All Out. I think you probably know All Out, right? Yep. So yeah, Luke, he is now branded as T-Biggs, and he does Post Malone kind of stuff, and he's a bootleg person.
He's got a record coming out, and we've been working with him on that. He got a really good music video shot, and he's working on finishing that right now. And it's like, it's cool because like, you know, you don't gotta really start in hip hop to make hip hop, and you really don't gotta start in any music to make any specific kind of music, because once you learn to speak that language, it's really all about the soul and all of the feeling, what's going on in the moment.
It's true. I mean, I think that's something special about Long Island too, is that we have so many musicians that can do so many different things, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like if you look at Bunktown Falls, half of them came from like hardcore metal bands, and now look at them, right?
Yep. Good example.
Yeah,
Everyone can just kind of do everything. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, not everyone, but the people that can, like you guys and Bunktown and these other ones, can prove, like, you know, their worth, showing that, hey, I'm not just one. Like Kenny, I consider Kenny a fucking musical chameleon. Dude,
Yep.
everything.
It's like funny. Kenny's been living in my house for like 2 months now.
Oh, yeah, he challenged us to a versus battle, by the way.
I saw that. I would love to see that happen.
It's gonna be the longest live stream ever. Get ready.
That's really funny. Yeah, Kenny's a good example. I remember you had given me his double album like 2 years ago now or something like that.
Oh, when he put out Mandarin, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
yes.
a good record.
And he just put out a really cool that tape or record he did with the Brothers Island. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Very different again.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like people just have this. It seems like Long Island. Like we just have this untapped potential.
Yes. Funny note, I definitely met Kenny the same day I met you.
I also met Kenny the same day I met you.
That's funny. I forgot about that. He was doing Junkrat with that girl.
Yep, he was doing Junkrat. He had all the fucking face paint on and everything.
Uh-huh.
All roads lead to the Nutty.
Yeah, all roads lead to Nutty. I've like been there like twice ever.
Yeah, me too. Dude, that was a big day. I met Mike from like Live Mike and Statfest that day. I met Lou of Reverb Nation that day. I met you and I met Kenny.
Wow.
Big day of meeting people.
Yeah. Well, hey, I guess that event was good for that.
Seriously.
Shout out to Lou also. Lou from Reverb Nation. I love that guy.
Yeah, he was there that day. That's the first time I met him. Wow,
Uh,
small world, that shit that goes on.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the new EP. Let's talk about, before we get into the whole nitty gritty of each song or whatever, what was the, like, what were the steps for it? What was the inspiration behind it? When was it where you were like, what was the reason why you were like, all right, it's quarantine and we got enough dick to do? A lot of bands are saying, let's not put out something right now because they can't do like these shows with it, right? So what was the inspiration behind you guys just going fully for it?
We already started putting out a song a week on this year.
We did.
And we opened it up and said, we're not going to let the world stop us. You know, we said, you know, if we're going to put a piece of content out every Friday, then we're going to put out a piece of content every Friday. And the two of us have always gotten to, like, you know, put music together, and we've always been not multifaceted. That's the word I'll use. And we just always are putting different projects together. And then he's still living in Patchogue, and there's a lot of musicians that were in that house at the time. And I was going there every day, just in general. And then quarantine happened, and it was all of a sudden everyone in the living room just making music all the time. And then next thing you know, we have 20 demos in 10 weeks.
Yep.
And then all the other stuff that was going on already. And we're like, okay, well, we got to do something with this. So then we called our producer, Public, and
finally
said,
got the studio back open.
yeah. And that was like May now, maybe even April. And then he's like, yeah, like, let's do this. And like, we got in there. We started recreating the things we were starting in the living room, making new stuff. And then, you know, start getting all the collaborators in. And now we got so into it as a unit that we're like 1.5, 2 years ahead on our schedule, still being able to make a release every Friday.
Yep.
Like we're building it, but we didn't want to stop. So it just, I guess it was perseverance that did it. And
Yeah.
we floated away a little bit.
Making music in the living room.
So you guys have enough music right now, backlog, to put out for quite some time.
Bootclick does. I wouldn't just say us, but there's about 8 projects on Bootclick right now. and they're starting to roll out and starting to do new stuff all the time. Some of them are people that are established, like Filthy Phil and T-Biggs, and other ones are new projects. Like he's got Peach Leaf going on, and New World Dance, which is like our Avengers movie, which
that's our coming project.
It's secret.
That might end up as jam. It might end up as reggae. Nobody fucking knows.
Honestly, it could be a System of a Down cover band at this point.
It's gonna be a band though, pretty much, and it's gonna be something else, something different that's not exactly rap music.
Yeah.
But,
is that something that's in like the very preliminary stages, or is that something that's going to be happening sooner than later?
It's just like, so for the original projects, from the projects that involve either of us for Bootlick right now, it's like Spill the Blood was the forefront run. The second one that came up is the collaboration that I have with my girlfriend Mariah, which is called Peach Leaf, which that is now like 80% done with its first EP in the background. And that's folk and it's alternative and it's pop and stuff like that. And then we had the idea for New World Dance Band as well, because mainly it's because I really wanted a fucking jam band.
Right.
Like, because I love that music. I've never done it. So we started putting together a lot of ideas because it could come out a little electronic. It could come out with a hint of gorillas on it. It's going to be something
experimental. The idea is to
experimental.
take every genre of music and put it through a blender and figure out a way to make it work.
The other thing is we want to make it, this was Lewis's idea, but very visually based. That's, I think, where the gorillas idea came in a little bit.
We want to be able to take the production aspect of what we do and the design aspect of what we do and turn it into an experience that people can take home with them.
Yeah, a real experience as opposed to just an audio thing.
Right. Nice, I like that.
Yeah, it all starts with that EP, It all starts there, and getting to show people that like, okay, yeah, we can put 4 songs out that sound alike and are hip hop and are one way, and then it's gonna grow and Spill the Blood. I mean, over the last year, you've released a whole bunch of singles that are just they're not all over the map, but they are across the spectrum.
Yeah, they are.
And that's before we've even gotten to release our really heavy music too. Like like heavy metal is a huge part of our lives, everything from Black Sabbath forward, So it's like getting in there and
heavy music within Spill the Blood or a different project.
Oh yeah, it's gonna go right down to metal at some point.
Yeah, we have like guitar-driven, like heavy tracks, like metal tracks.
A lot of screaming, a lot of punk breaks.
Is there current music you can compare it to that maybe you draw inspiration for that?
Slipknot and City Morgue.
Exactly, yeah. City Morgue is the newer.
And Suicide Boys.
And Suicide Boys.
Ghostman.
Ghostman's actually a good example for that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's that whole awesome wave of metal and trap,
Yeah.
Right.
And the Deftones for some reason.
Who doesn't love Deftones?
We love the Deftones. They're just so perfect.
Yeah. But there's good elements of like what am I trying to say? Industrial.
There's like hella industrial going on in some of the new stuff. I don't know if you know Mike Talento, but he was in the B-list and Approaching Troy, and then he moved down to Georgia to start working on production and stuff like that. And I got in touch with him recently. He just produced 2 beats for us that we're currently in a process of dissecting and making something out of. So it's like, and he's a big Nine Inch Nails fan, so that showed up a little bit in there, which is kind of cool.
Interesting. I'm excited to hear this.
Yeah, Mikey also played bass
A lot
line.
of fucking influences on one thing, so it's gonna be interesting to see.
It's literally like what we wanted forever, because like we do every kind of music, so we needed to find just the actual medium after 8 years of working together.
And it was a label.
And the label was the answer, because now we're pulling it off. Like I'm like happy and satisfied because I make every kind of music I like, pretty much.
So, all right, so I have a question. Back to the EP a little bit, kind of backtracking a little bit, but I talked about why did you guys want to release it during all this quarantine and everything. So you already explained that. Now, how did you go about gaining the attention? You couldn't do these, like album release shows or anything like that. Or you couldn't really go around and promote so much.
I'll tell you.
But you know what you couldn't have these big sanctioned giant things, right? You couldn't go to Revolution and have 5 bands under you. Like
No, we can't.
So what was your tactic of getting it out to everybody's ears? Like you have
picking up the phone and
just
just texting everybody.
Yep, you take it, Lewis. You good?
So something Jake taught me when I was like 15, 16 years old was sometimes you just got to tell people that things exist. And if you believe in it, that people are going to believe in it. So we took that tactic right to the streets, and we've done shows and we promoted things before, and we've done all kinds of work. He's done events, I've done stuff. Like he's been able to hustle enough tickets to open up for Steve Aoki at points. We've done festivals, open for Bass Nectar, on his thing. And in my case, I got to do a little bit of stuff on my stuff with booking and whatever. And it all goes down to, just talking to people and saying, hey, there's this thing that I think you'd really enjoy and maybe you should try it. And like we tried it in the fall and we got 2,500 streams on a music video that nobody had any promo money for.
Yep.
That was last fall's project to see if it worked. And then we said, okay, word of mouth works. We throw a little money here and there on it to boost, to actually advertise with it and, working on actual AdWords campaigns and trying to boost the website and doing the right things there. But mostly it's just, saying, hey, I see that you like this kind of music. Would you like to give this a chance? Or like just telling your friends like, hey, I have a playlist with a bunch of songs and my song's in there. So here you go. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
Dad, wave to the camera.
this is good here, man. This is bad.
Dad.
Hello.
It's all okay. I just want some freedom. I know.
Just wants some freedom.
So all word of mouth. So 10,000 plus streams almost now for just word of mouth is pretty fucking dope, guys.
It's going well, dude. Spill the Blood is the most organically growing project I've ever personally had, and we've ever had collectively.
It's
Like people, they surround like the whole product all the time. They like it. They like to be around. Like I just started this with fucking hosting parties and inviting everybody everywhere all the time. Like last night, we went out to Del Fuego for Margarita Monday, which I wish you were at. And
it's like a holiday.
Was my shit. I told you that last week. I loved it.
Yeah. So anyway, like whatever we're doing, like especially before quarantine, whatever social bullshit we're going to do, I just invite everybody, and like a bunch of people show up every time, and then there's just a network of friends doing the same shit all the time.
Yeah, and they've broken off into their own groups at times too, and they're making
Definitely.
friends, and it's cool. I like seeing that. It's a community after all, and the point was not to leave it at us. We wanted it to be inclusive. We wanted to find a way where it wasn't exclusionary, and a lot of times with the old model of I guess music in general, you're doing a lot of undercutting each other without even realizing it, and we just wanted to build a platform that wasn't that. Because like it's just not right, and we try. There's only a million ways to skin a cat, but we're trying to find the millionth first. You know? So it's just
I like that little terminology you had right there. That was nice. I loved it. But no, especially like
no cats are making no cats are hard into making this analogy.
I definitely agree with you though, because like people don't even realize that everybody kind of gets under each other. Everyone kind of just like undercuts each other or cuts someone off from something without even realizing that they did that, or like just stop
separate platforms.
With a little bit shit.
It hurts your consumer, and that ultimately hurts your end game. If everyone's working together and everyone's pushing the same platforms, then everyone can grow. That's the whole philosophy.
I got a different question for you. It's about Long Island though. How would you guys? It's a very pop punk and hardcore or reggae oriented scene right now, right?
I'd say it's definitely changing, but that's the thick of it that starts with.
Yeah, I think the kids that are, or the people, because we're not kids anymore. The people that are making music right now, they don't want to go out to that stuff. They like the younger generations are making more R&B and they're making more alternative and they're making more hip hop and trap. And
a lot of beat-driven shit.
And there's a whole side of the market that hasn't even been tapped yet that is just stepping up and doing their own DIY.
That was my question. How do you feel that you guys kind of made your way into the scene with music that's not necessarily what's predominantly being seen right now?
Started our own.
That's true. Literally, we said to all of our friends, like, you like rap, right? And they're like, all right, yeah, I guess. And they're like, all right, fucking, we're going to do rap.
Yeah, like that's how we got Luke. I said, Luke, like he wanted to be producing. I'm like, all right, well then you're gonna make hip hop with us. Like, come on, or my, actually Eric Milton from Bohemians. He's their guitar and auxiliary piano player. Like he's a multi-instrumentalist. I can't call any of them anything more than multi-instrumentalist because they're freaking fantastic. But like, yeah, he produced some stuff for us, and like we're trying to push him more. Like my Talento, pop punk. All right, we're gonna make this now. Like that's really it. We're gonna make this now.
We also had the very lucky thing because people weren't doing that kind of music, is we ended up being like the only hip hop group in a way. I know there's more, but I don't really know a lot of them, and we're definitely the most active one. So.
Yeah, especially in this part of the community where we come from. It's just like we started.
All of our metal friends only have one rap group to go see.
Yeah, it's a weird way about it, but it's going to change eventually.
And we get the mosh pits at the rap shows.
Oh, we do. Yeah, so Flamingo on the EP, back to the EP, for some reason, all right, so we were going to cut that song from the set from one of our little DIY things.
I'm so happy you did it because I fucking love that song.
So we cut it from the set, and then, or I put it on last minute, and then all of a sudden, as like we're getting ready to do the first hook, I just watched someone get thrown across the floor, get put into a table, and then comes up and hits somebody. I'm like, here we go. So the Flamingo starts, and it's just a freaking bloodbath in the pit. I'm like, this is awesome.
Mic in hand. I'm like, oh, you're on stage.
I'm like, why is this? I'm like, why is this song getting the spin kicks? And I'm like, well, this is cool. Like, Never seen that before.
Because you're having people coming from different communities. That's really
Yeah,
what
it's like you
everyone's
got
throwing in
Josh
to do at a show.
I was shocked. I was like, this is not what I expected. But apparently Rolling Loud's like that. And like
Oh, yeah.
I equate Rolling Loud as like the new Warped Tour but better.
It's a mix between like Warped Tour and Electric Daisy.
Do they have beer in Electric Daisy?
Oh yeah.
Okay, they have beer at this, so it's
Yeah.
more like EDC then.
Yeah, EDC, that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, it's just
Isn't
weird.
Rolling Loud predominantly hip hop based?
Oh, it's
Hip
totally
hop,
hip-hop.
it's like hip hop and a little bit alternative.
Yeah, it's that music. It's I think it's the same company that produced one of the electronic
Like
festivals. What is it?
EDC or one of those.
I think it was.
I think it
EDC.
is the same one. It could be Izu.
It might be because EDC is Pascal Rotella, and he's all EDM. Anyway, one of the predominant electronic companies, they ruled the world, and electronic music ruled the world, and they just moved into doing Rolling Loud. And I was like, smart. I did the same thing on a smaller capacity.
Yeah, we're like hermit crabs.
Yeah,
We
literally.
change universes.
Exactly.
All right, so you were just talking about let's talk about the individual tracks. So Flamingo, first track on the EP, one of my favorite tracks. Let's hear about that. What is your inspiration for half of these songs?
Like Flamingo is Lewis's song. That's where it started.
Okay, so all right, so while we were in the process of just making music every day, we were smoking hella weed, and we used to have our friend Nels come all the time, and he's always there, and I'm like, yo, Nels, before Jake gets home, let's write a chorus. So I put the first two bars, and I'm like, yo, let's make a song that's literally just about bopping your head like a bird, because I go by Birdfoot and some of my art stuff, just one of my little things. I don't know, I do a lot of bird art, and like. I'm like, yo, so, bopping head like a flamingo. And then Nels comes in with just like, speaking his lines and just talking about like, whatever he's talking about. And then like, getting brain. So, which is funny, 'cause bird brain, I love that. So then we made a whole song after it. And then it was like, like we were just writing it about like, kind of like a snapshot of how life was at that point. Like, people bopping their heads to the music, everyone's chilling out. Everyone's just living their lives, and that's just that, and we shout out a bunch of people at the end that were like, at the time, like just around us, and we missed them because like, quarantine was just starting, and we weren't seeing each other as much, and that's just kind of where we were. And that song was like started right in the beginning of quarantine. So yeah.
Yep, that was literally one of the first. It's like the first quarantine song, pretty much.
Yeah, and it was the first song that we took to public right after too. Like it was a different beat altogether. And
Shout to Public, best producer on the island.
best
in my
producer.
opinion.
I don't think he even realizes how much of a god he is.
He
Yet.
does.
Like he's incredible. He's incredible. Like
Did he produce each track on the album?
everything except for Guru.
Yep. My partner from Shotgun Styles, Evan, he produced Guru.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, that's one of the first Full of Blood songs that we actually remixed.
Yes.
But we'll get to that, I guess.
Oh yeah. It's all right. So Flamingo, definitely one of my favorite. I really like your friend's verse on that shit too. Like I think
He's one of our bootlick artists
I
too.
think he added a nice different flow than what you guys have for it, which like just complimented you guys so well on that. I
Thank you.
The middle part hits.
10 out of 10 track for me. A fucking check mark with that one. I like it.
Thank you so much.
Nice.
It's a good
All
one.
right, let's keep going then. 98 Drip, my other favorite track on that. So who's the guy who's featured on that?
So that is Sundown, who I wish was here right now.
He's another one of our bootlick artists.
Right. So Sundown, we met not that long ago. I bought this iPhone from him over at the Riverhead Verizon over here. And we're sitting there, and like my data's transferring, and I have nothing to do. And I'm like, he's like, so what do you do? I'm like, oh, we do cabinets up the road. And I was like, and we do rap music at night. And he's like, no, you don't. And I'm like, yes, I do. And I was like, here, this is bathwater. I showed it to him.
Yeah, I got
He's
a
like-
flow in
and
every
he's
time.
like,
It's a
listen-
shock, though.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, he's like, listen, I'm a rapper. He's like, I've been trying to do, I haven't been in the studio. I have all these bars, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, say no more.
And bars he has. Yeah.
Right. So I was like, he said mainly, he's like, I want to work. I want to go to the studio. And I was like, yes, that's what I'm looking for all the time. Thank you for people who want to work.
Yeah.
So he sent me what's called the type beat that he wrote over originally. So then we took the type beat to public, and he just listened to it, put in the same BPM, and then he went over that.
Yeah, you
And,
heard what Asani was saying, and he built it around more what Asani was saying, too, which was kind of cool.
Right.
Yeah.
So we built it kind of structured around the feature by chance, and then I just threw a verse on it like that day.
And the hook came out pretty naturally, too, right?
Right. Yeah, I wrote the whole thing just like on the way to the studio kind of thing. And then 98 Point Drip, the title comes from the fact that everybody's been getting their temperature checked all the time. And it's like, a play on the fever thing and the fact that I really like accessories. And here we are.
Wow, I like the name. Cool.
Thank you.
That was going to be my next question as to why the name, but wow,
Yes, it's Rona based.
hell yeah.
Yeah, we didn't want to be like, yo, this is quarantine on our tracks, but like we wanted to have subtle references to it because obviously it's the elephant in the room in everyone's music and everyone's life right now.
Right.
You know, we just didn't want to shove it in people's faces because who really wants any more content about that? Because we really don't need it. We already know it's hard.
No, we get it the second we wake up. We have like 10 different news alerts about some shit that goes
Yeah,
on.
the world's ending the minute you open your phone. It's like, all right,
Yeah.
thanks. But
Yeah.
what music is out? Like,
So, just random side note. Speaking of the world ending, did you hear about that girl yesterday that died in Detroit and then she was back alive in the funeral home?
No, I did not.
That's-
What?
very cool.
Crazy, right?
All right. I was like, well, that's sad. Oh, well, that's not sad.
Good. She was pronounced dead. They did CPR on her for 30 minutes. The coroner pronounced her dead. They sent her to a funeral home, and then her heart started beating at the funeral home, and she was alive.
Imagine, I didn't hear this news. Can you imagine waking I can find it. It actually might be out with Joe, by the way.
All right, here's the halftime intermission.
All right, cool.
We're gonna edit that.
All right, let's keep going with you then for these tracks. So the third track was what? Walk, right?
Walk Hard. So that's a track from Jake and Randy. So Randy's another friend of ours who we know through I met him in college, and then he ended up living in
He's
Dick's
the one
house.
who's featured on it?
Yeah, that's Black Ente.
Okay.
And he's really awesome. Like it just he's got that Tech Nine like influence, and you know he loves that stuff. And he's just honestly like as far as like music, like I guess like just knowledge base. He knows so much music, just rock and hip hop. Like he can smoke anybody on vocabulary music. I think he's incredible. So you know he wanted to do a track with Jake, so we had that going on. And something that's cool about Spill the Blood is that like even if like one of us is taking kind of a backseat, we're treating it like a band. Like the Dirty, like you know the Dirty Heads. Like there's some songs where Juddy B's going off, and there's other songs where Dirty J's like, yo, what's up? So it's like you know we try to treat it like that. We all write with each other and everything like that. So I put the sample in the beginning, and then the whole song is just kind of about puffing your chest out and mobbing.
Hold on,
mobbing
it's
hard.
also named after the great movie.
Oh yeah, so John C. Reilly put out this incredible film.
He probably knows Walk Hard the movie.
Do you know Walk Hard?
Yep.
Yeah, so it's also that because
Cool.
we love our references to that.
Hell yeah.
And, you know, the song may not have 1,000 didgeridoos, but it definitely is. It's 100% what we wanted. And it
You got
hits.
to reference didgeridoo.
They just throw it at me every time I'm in the studio. But yeah.
That does. Okay, here, let's continue.
All right, so Guru, you talk
So
about.
how about before we get to Guru, since you
Sure.
said you had a different producer on Guru, why don't you talk about Public a little bit and how you guys got really affiliated with him and anything of that, right? Because we just went over. He was on the first 3 tracks, right? He produced those first 3.
Yes, he
All right,
did.
He's got most of the record under his belt.
Yeah, he's like our dude now.
Yeah, he does all the executive production on the vocals too. So he was on Guru, but not
Yes.
in the way he was on the other stuff.
Right. So Public, how we met him actually was a good story. It really pertains to how Spill the Blood really got going. So we were playing just a regular kind of show, Revolution. Actually, we were playing under the name NWD Band.
Yeah,
'cause I
New
was
World
trying to
Dance.
launch that
I
project.
remember that.
Right. Yeah. So
So
like,
Scare 20 and all those guys.
hold on, what's
Yeah.
headline?
Oh, After Party.
After Party was headlining. Yeah.
Cool.
So anyway, so Public
Oh, the
is
after party. I hope they put out new music sometime soon.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Public's the original drummer from Straight from the Path.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Public's the original drummer. Yeah. From
that's
Straight.
So he like got Drew involved with the project, and that
Right.
took off one way or another, and then he ended up making hip hop. So like,
Right.
you know, you met him at that show, right?
Yeah.
And-
But anyway, so actually a couple of years ago, I forgot I had ran into Public because Timbo was trying to produce with him, and I went in for like one session. We worked on a little bit of shit, didn't talk after that. So I'm at the show at my merch table at the after party show, and he's like, "I know you," and I'm like, "Okay." So I didn't remember who he was. So he came up and he was like excited to see me and like being buddies, and I was like, "Okay, this guy's awesome." So I gave him a hug, what's going on? And then his main artist, Hazeman, who's on our first big song, Bathwater, that came out.
Mhm.
He stood there and just like watched our whole set because what started as like being an NWD set, I said, no, fuck it, let's just do a Spill the Blood set because it's more fun. So we just launched all those songs. Then Hazeman was like, this motherfucker's spitting, and
Probably a direct quote.
yeah, literally. So apparently he worked in Public hardcore and a lot of people, and he was doing the same tenacious route that we're doing, where he's like, come in the studio, you know, get in the studio like next week, and if you flake, I'm not talking anymore. And it's like, well, I don't flake, so. So we went in, and then we didn't make Bathwater the first time. We made a song called Get the Bag, which is not out yet. And then we followed it up. We went in like the next Saturday, and we made Bathwater. And then we discovered that Public is fucking awesome.
Yeah, Bathwater came out in about 2 hours.
Yes.
Beat to finish.
Mhm.
Like the two of them went off. That was mostly freestyle, the two of them.
That was
Yep.
big when you guys dropped that.
What's up?
That was a big track when you guys dropped that too. It
Oh,
gained
yeah.
attention.
It is definitely, it's how we got started.
Yeah, and that's going to make it to the album. And we're going to remarket it, and we're going to push it, because that song, in my opinion, I think that's like some of Jake's best work, you know? So it's like, it's exciting to get to remarket these songs.
And Lewis got that song to everybody.
And I did the artwork. I helped direct the video with Matt Collymore, and it just felt like it was right. It was like, I've been working with Jake at that point for over 7 years, and it was like, all right, well, I never heard you pop off like this, so like, I think we're on to something here.
It was a really good first incarnation for Soul Blood.
Yeah.
It's a fucking buck, you know?
It set the tone, and it just, I'm happy. I'm just happy with it.
While I'm here at work all day, Lewis is talking to everybody and making art and creating phenomenal ideas.
That's my job.
So he got into everybody's ears, and that's how it started, pretty much.
Teamwork, I like it. It's the only way you're going to do it.
Dream work, bro.
Hell yeah. All right, the last song, Guru. You had a different producer on it. Let's talk about that a little. Was that a completely
Talk about the origins of that one a little bit, you know? Let them know the history.
So literally, as we were transitioning, like at the end of what Shotgun Styles was, I started to go in the direction of trap music because that's what was popular. We were actually both being the DJ for Free Will, that group. And we're like, we saw all of a sudden there's like a packed revolution with an artist that I don't know who the fuck it is named Puya. And I'm like, who the fuck?
Who's like my favorite rapper now.
Right, yeah. So like it was Puya, Ghostbane, and Fat Neck who were all there. And this was like 2017.
Yeah, the other favorite.
We're DJing and we're like, EDM is the best shit ever. And then we didn't know it was going to die shortly. And then all of a sudden there's a packed crowd revolution. We're like, what the fuck is this music? And we're just like up there being wasted on stage, hitting buttons and being like, maybe we should be making trap music. Right. So Evan, who is a phenomenal producer, went back to Ableton and he started to create trap beats, and he's really fucking good at it. Mango, what else? Thermite's a song that's out. Evan produced a lot of tracks from Soul Blood that are out, actually. So Guru was one of the first ones, though.
Candy Drip, too.
Candy Drip, that's another one that's out. So anyway, he just went back, he made all these awesome beats, and then Guru became one of the first things that we tracked just at a random kind of studio. Like, it was one of the first things we put out from Spill of Blood, because it had the fun hook to it. It has the bitches shopping hook, which people love, you know?
Song about Tinder.
It's a song about Tinder. It's like I just got broken up with, I was all sad, I was sitting there swiping on Tinder, and somebody said, what are you doing? And I'm like, bitches shopping. And then we got Guru. And it's just one of the fun classic songs of Spill of Blood now. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And anyway, so that was the only.
Not the same guy featured on that track, yes? From
Yep, that's Sundown. Yep.
Also Sundown.
Yeah, so originally we had our boy Jordan on it, and then Jordan ended up being cool about it, and we're going to do some other stuff, real heavy stuff with Jordan. Okay. And we put Asani on that track because we were really just starting to work with him.
Asani is Sundown. That's his actual name.
Sundown, yeah. So we put Sundown on there, and then, like, that worked out really well. So, like, we got really excited about the track, and we wanted to put, you know, Guru, out of respect for the track being, like, one of the first Spill the Blood things. We put that on the first EP because, like, you know, the songs change. It's reflected what we're about to do. You know, anyone that's been paying attention knows what Jake's verse sounds like and knows, you know, what the hook was like. You know, it was fun live. I ended up doing a verse on there. I had fun with that one. So, like, it just became something we like to do live and kept it. So, like, you know, it just you know, it had to stay. Like, it needed to be there. Like, it needed to grow. So Asani really helped make that happen.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So what's next now? So you released this EP. It's gotten great attention so far. Seriously, big props to you guys for that.
Hey.
So you have an double album coming out eventually.
We have the first one really slated for this fall. Our original idea was we want to put the first part of this out in November, which is the approximate slated thing.
It could get delayed due to, you know, the Corona stuff. We're really looking for a specific, I guess, just a specific amount of attention for it. You know, we're gonna have pre-saves up soon because it's just about done being mixed and mastered. I'm almost done with the artwork. I'm painting that, by the way.
Awesome.
And you know, it's just to get the real Slayer vibe.
Yeah.
Slayer, Iron Maiden. You know, real important. But
yes, I agree
you know,
with that.
it's just like, you know, it's just what we're gonna do. You know, so it's coming. It's really close. We're gonna start performing it at parties and private events. You know, all fall.
Right.
Just getting people about it. If people don't, you know, if people react the way we think they're gonna react to it, then we're gonna release it kind of on schedule. If we think we need to go to the drawing board, we'll do that.
And there's also just literally everything else. The whole nice point of Bootleg is it's not just about Spill of Blood.
Yeah, again, 8 artists right now.
Right. So basically, we have our EP, which is probably just going to continue. We're going to promote it. It's going awesome.
Yeah, we're
just going to keep
rocking
rocking it. People are going to love those songs for a few months. Then we're putting together a mixtape for the fall, including lots of different bootleg
I think
artists.
that comes out like the first week of October.
Right, so that'll be the next
Yeah.
thing that we're doing musically, and that will get people's attention like that. And then mine and my girlfriend's project will come out here somewhere in the interim right here, and that's going to be like the poppiest little thing. It's going to have its own thing because people love the shit out of that.
Yeah.
And then we have everybody else who's going to come out on our little label. Like Sundown's going to start putting out music.
Nell Souls is putting out a
Souls is
whole
going to
tape.
put out a tape.
Splinter, who I think we reviewed for After Hours a while ago. He's getting ready to drop an entire EP. He's actually on our album too.
Yep.
The Big Climax's album is done. Our EP is done, 6 tracks. I freaking love that record. I can't wait to hear that out. Danny Dakota is gonna release some music with us.
He's new from us.
Big love for that boy. He's just the man. He's a hell of a producer, hell of a performer. And then Filthy Phil's hopping on now too. He's dropping some stuff on our label, and that's we got maybe more people hop in all the time. You got a couple people in the works right now. We're happy about it.
And we're going to be jumping in on those mixtapes.
Yeah, we're going to put out a lot of collab tapes with every artist that gets on Bootleg, in all honesty. That's kind of what we just want to do. Spill the Blood's got to be about the moment always.
Yeah.
And, if the moment is one way, we got to be there. That's just what we want.
Yep.
What is the track list looking like for this double album? Do you guys have any idea how
13 songs on each half because...
Oh, hell yeah.
Fuck
13,
yeah.
huh?
A bunch of B-sides. The deluxe edition will come out on the 10-year anniversary with 66 tracks. 666 tracks. Deluxe edition. And, I think that's kind of what we're looking at. Yeah.
So do you guys have any surprises for that double at all? Do you have any surprise features or anything that people wouldn't expect?
Well, it's no secret. We have a really sick song with Free Will that he did.
That's true. That's the only big feature that we have going on is we're going to have one very heavy Ghost Main sounding feature from Free Will. I think the real shock is going to be the damn diversity that comes out.
Yeah.
It's got metal-based songs. Our best song now, in my opinion, is a one that Mike Talento actually just played live bass on. It sounds like fucking Snoop Dogg and the Dirty Heads, really.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like heavy trap. It's just other shit. It's really going to come out. We know it. And people are going to see it as a hip-hop record. We know damn well it's an alternative record. It's a mix of shit.
Yeah, and it's going to be a metal record by the time the third one comes out. It's just,
Yeah.
we're just, if it's got a middle finger, it's Spill the Blood. And that's just kind of what we do. We run our mouths and make music.
Right, we found our medium that we could really put out every genre through, and it works. People accept everything is Spill the Blood. Whether it's trap music. We have one song
a disco song.
We did. We put out a flat-out disco song called "Loving You" during quarantine, and that was we got everybody's quarantine.
Yeah, we
videos
had 30 people send submissions to be in the video for that.
Oh, dope.
Yeah, that was a cool one.
We have our one song out called "My Distance Is Your Ketamine." That's it's a slow. It's sad. It's produced by the Brothers Nylon.
Yeah, when we played our
that song is completely different from this whole new EP you just put out.
Oh yeah, very different. Very different, but people dig it. So we were having, a little DIY event recently, and all of a sudden everybody knew the words of that song, and it was wild. And
there was
wow.
20 people singing that song with us, and we're like, okay, well that's cool because
I love that song.
Grassroots,
Thank you.
I love that song. It's definitely one of my favorite Spill the Blood songs, by far.
So you're gonna be pretty happy about this. So we've been working on this little thing, like Star Wars, called "The Drugs, the Drinking, and the Sadness." It's one of our other side projects because that's the other thing. We talk about what we want to do that's planned, but we really we're impulsive and we have a platform where we can drop anything whenever we want. But as long as there's a plan going on, it operates. So it's gonna be. It comes out like a video montage of 9 tracks that are gonna come out as "The Drugs, the Drinking, the Sadness." And My Distance Is Your Ketamine has a music video with Candy Drip actually that we shot, and we're working on that right now and how to make that all the one big piece. So there's the Ketamine's gonna get its due. It's
got a super sad video for it.
You have a super sad video for it?
Oh yeah,
it has to be.
Oh yeah, I think I figured out how to cry on cue there.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I don't know if I'd be able to do it. What'd you do? Put a tweezer in your pocket and just pull skin off your leg?
It's I retraced my heartbreak and was kind of drunk.
For local.
That works too.
All right. Well, yeah. So
So all right, we always end interview the same way. So I'd like to have you guys end it the same way as well. So we always ask, and it's a shitty question to ask, but I like putting people on the spot. We have, as you guys know, a very diverse audience for After Hours, right? Because we kind of
great audience.
If you had to convince a hardcore kid or a super reggae kid to give you guys a chance. Like if you had a 30-second spiel, what would you say to convince someone to jump on the Spill the Blood bandwagon?
I'd probably give the reggae kid the reggae track and the metal kid the metal track because we have both.
And then I'd give the reggae kid the metal track, tell him punch somebody, and then I'd give the metal kid the reggae track, give him a hug, and see
You're
what
not allowed
happens.
to give him a track. That's what you say. You're not allowed to give him a track. If you had somebody in front of you and they said, convince me to go home and listen, what would be your
Well, you
30
like getting high, right? All right, now listen to this.
It's like everybody
You know, that works.
It's like, shit, there's a couple things. I'd invite him to my next party or the next time we're going to a bar, give him a hug, tell him he's got to be friends with us, give him a t-shirt, he'd be like, that logo
Would you like a
baller.
taco? That works sometimes. Every once in a while, I'll bring a party pack to where we're going. Tacos, be like, hey, would you like a taco?
Literally, aside from the fact that we like our music, Spill the Blood is a social event.
Yeah.
Always. So it's, I drag in new people all the time by just inviting them to whatever's happening that day or that week. It's like tomorrow we're going to go play volleyball at my dad's house, so I invite random people and whatever, and just bring them into our community. It's really the most community thing. That's how I advertise it. Aside from the fact the music's good, the friends are better.
Yeah, that's really all it's about. It really
like
is.
that.
It is a community.
Yo, that was one of my favorite answers I've ever gotten because usually
Yeah.
people, I mean, everyone's very creative with their answers, right? But they always come with a way. It's like, listen to us because we sound like this or because of this. I like that you guys went with community instead. That was I like that.
Yeah, I mean, one specific thing I always have like focus on in music for our own career and stuff like that is the fact that I wanted it to be friends
It's included.
the most.
Yeah.
I've always liked every genre of music, but I wanted the community to be the focus of it, and now we have it for the first time.
And we're very happy with it. And I'm going to quote you from like when you were a teenager. Keep your vibes pure. Keep your vibes good and your music pure. And
Probably wearing a shirt like this.
Yeah, it's just probably yeah, and like I don't know, it's just that's it. Like it's all got to be about both those things. It's vibes and music. If someone doesn't like the vibe, they're not going to stay for the music. If someone doesn't like the music, if they like the vibe, they'll deal with it until the next record comes out.
Right.
Yeah, true.
It's why do we all follow Drake even though he put out that terrible song Pop Star?
Fuck you, I love pop.
You don't mind pop stars, so Jake, I'm on
Pop
your
Star
side.
is great.
But then he followed up with another track which is like way better. But I stayed a Drake fan because I like Drake. I didn't care. I like the vibe of being
I
a Drake
fucking
fan.
love Drake is my input on this conversation.
No, I love Drake.
But,
You know who I also think, just before we end, that I would love you guys to do a feature with? Kenny Hoopla.
Kenny Hoopla?
Who is I know that name. Who is that?
Is that Kenny Trend side project?
Oh, wait, is that his...
No, Kenny Hoopla is big. He's playing Riot Fest, Jake. That's probably why you know the name.
Oh, okay. I seen the name. That's why.
Are we all going to Riot Fest next year? Is that what it is?
They're already going.
We're gonna go.
They have tickets already.
We
Yes,
should
you
get
do.
Hold on, I'm Spotifying Kenny Hoopla right. There he is. Got him. Okay. Oh, I see. Okay. We'll go learn about Kenny Hoopla.
Look at that lowercase font album. Oh, I love it. I love it.
That's our shit right
Yeah,
there.
lowercase everything with slashes. Oh, we're in.
All right, gentlemen, thank you so much for spending the past
you.
hour.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, entire After Hours Review staff, and thank you, everybody. I appreciate you.
Awesome. Looking forward to the double album, guys.
Thanks, bud. Thank you.
Fuck yeah.